And how's everybody doing this fine day? My name is Alan Roberts. It is a good day. I hope all of you are having a great day also. I thought I'd do a completely blind review. I just went to YouTube and basically put in weight loss, filtered it for this week, and this is one of the ones that came up. This is going to be Phoebe Cartwright's 5 Healthy Habits Wrecking Your Metabolism. So I'm very interested. I've never seen this young lady's content. This is not meant to give an okay on her content. This is not meant to do anything negative to her or positive to her. This is just to go over somebody's content that is in kind of the same realm as me. And she looks like a decently young person. I hope she has some wits about her to understand what's going on. I will say this, the title alone, I mean, I'm being serious, just by the title alone, are there things you can do to necessarily lower your basal metabolic rate? Absolutely. High cortisol levels, if you do things that are going to in some way lower your hormone levels, especially for men and women, your testosterone levels and stuff like that. If you are going to put yourself into a highly estrogenic state, such as being fat as fuck, because fat is an organ that is estrogenic. It creates estrogen, amongst other hormones, including leptin, those sorts of things. But, there are things that you can do that would lower your basal metabolic rate. But in all honesty, very little is going to wreck your metabolism. I went over a young man's video on X and Instagram, and I put it on my shorts on YouTube, where he is basically talking about how he had a client, and it's funny because he says he had a client that reached out to him saying that she was eating 1,100 calories and running 30 miles a week and hasn't lost weight in 8 months. And he proceeded to go into the whole starvation mode bullshit. I'm just going to say this one time for everybody very, very, very quickly. Starvation mode does not fucking exist. There's no metabolic process that is going to stop you from losing weight if you are in a caloric deficit. None. Zero. You are not personally going to break the laws of physics. Are there things that can negatively affect your basal metabolic rate, which then also affects even the energy you burn when you're active? Of course there are. Absolutely. You can increase your cortisol levels. That is negative for you. You can, women with PCOS, they normally take like a 10% at most hit to their basal metabolic rate. Hypothyroidism, very similar, like extreme cases of having multi-layered issues like this are maybe a maximum of 20%. There is no metabolic process that is going to stop your metabolism from actually working. You die. Like, does everybody seem to understand that? You die. If starvation mode existed, starvation would not. But if you, and I said this in this short video that I made, but I wanted to say this very clearly for anybody watching at the very beginning of this video. If you, for some reason, think that you cannot lose weight no matter how little you eat or how much you're active, if you feel that you or somebody that is in that state that can actually not lose weight no matter how much they work out and how little they eat, you need to take yourself or that person for the good of humanity and go get genetically tested, because you could save millions of lives. We in America have this weird feeling that for some reason, the problem of I can't lose weight is an actual fucking problem. First of all, yes, the fuck you can. There is not one human being alive that could not eat in a caloric deficit and lose body fat. 0 people. There are 0 people that ever lived that could not lose weight. 0. There is literally nobody ever born that was doomed to be morbidly obese, especially when you consider it to be by waist to height ratio. Nobody. So this whole craziness that we are seeing a lot of people, pandering to their audience, talking about starvation mode and doing all these other things, it's just insanely. It's like pandering to people who really need actual help by telling them that they're not the issue, when in fact you are the issue, and it may not even be your fault. Some people do, like I said, if you have unnaturally high cortisol levels, if you have a problem with your leptin, things like that, people are constantly hungry. There are many conditions that make people hungrier, but that's not what we're talking about. There are many conditions that make people hungrier, being leptin resistant, being in a hyperinsulinemic state. There's Willer-Pratty syndrome, where they don't even have the mechanism, or Prader-Willi, where they don't even have the mechanism to shut off their hunger, which basically also comes with some pretty serious mental retardation, those sorts of things. There are tons of conditions that can cause you to be hungrier, but there are many, many, many ways to handle that, such as avoiding ultra-processed foods, especially ultra-processed carbohydrates, keeping your carbohydrates or even the taste of sweet off until the end of the day. There are so many things. We go over this, by the way. We go over this in my books and in the app. And if you go get the app, which is going to be out, supposedly, that's what they tell me. So you guys are my test bunnies, but it's going to be out on Google for full approval finally. So if you go and you can't get in, let me know. But hopefully all of you can get in, and then we will just start the process of pushing for iOS now. But you'll be able to get all three of my books too. You basically click on the Hunger Free and Happy right up at the top of the app, and it gives you all three of my books. So please do check that out. But we're going to get to this young lady's video. Again, I've never seen this. The title, I just want to go over the title and the whole ridiculous concept of starvation mode and wrecking your metabolism. Now, she might have used this, like the word wrecking. It's not like clickbait, but like, a way to like get people to watch, which I do also. I have videos talking about like the damage and stuff like that too. So good for her on that. But let's get to this, shall we? And by the way, for those of you that are going to click the link, are watching this on replay, and are going to join the app, if you join at $9.99, we just started a challenge yesterday. Everybody that's $9.99 and up, the premium and up, which the only up from there is coaching, which you reach out to us personally, and we'll sign you up for coaching. But if you get not the $9.99 premium, you can use all of the workout programs, all the pre-recorded workouts. You can use all of the challenges, the chat room for the challenges, and those sorts of things. So please do join us on that. It is going to be an amazing summer. We are going to help thousands, hopefully tens of thousands of people get healthy this summer. I appreciate you, motherfuckers. Thank you. So here we go. This is 5 Healthy Habits Secretly Sabotaging Your Weight Loss. She's changed the title, I guess. I don't know.
If you've been eating less, moving more, and repeating, consistency is key as your mantra. But
okay, real quick, I'm going to speed her up because she talks super slow, or at least slower than my brain can take. So here we go. Excuse me. I'm going to start that over too.
If you've been eating less, moving more, and repeating, consistency is key as your mantra, but the scales are barely moving, then
you're not eating in a caloric deficit for your caloric expenditure. That's the fact.
Been there too. And I'm sorry to tell you that the very healthy habits you're proud to be sticking to are probably the ones that are wrecking your progress. So what are
okay.
those habits? Well, after coaching 800 women and overcoming a 40-pound weight loss journey myself, I noticed the exact same symptoms in almost every woman before working with me. And I've distilled these findings into the top 5 habits that you think are helping you but are actually hindering you. And I'll also explain what to do instead so you know how to get unstuck. Healthy habit 1 is the tiny meal mirage. I used to wear my hunger like a badge of honor. And I believed that weight loss was simple. The smaller the meal, the bigger the result. So I'd eat a 200-calorie salad for lunch, feeling like a disciplined warrior. But traditional weight loss maths can often fail the human nervous system. See, when you eat as little as possible, you're not just saving calories. You're probably borrowing them from future you at a very high interest rate. And it's very likely that come the evening or the weekend, your biology will override your willpower. And this triggers the...
Your biology does not override your willpower. Your biology does not make you go to the refrigerator and eat ice cream. Your actions do. Your biology does not take the fuck over. It would be one thing if your biology took over and somehow broke the laws of physics and added the weight to you. But your biology does not order McDonald's at 2 a.m. You do. Absolutely, you do. Your biology does not take over. Would you be rampantly hungry? Yes. Very likely. If you are eating very nutriently sparse food, especially the high volume thing where people eat a salad and they try to use the volume like to fill themselves up like they're stuffing themselves, eat a fucking steak. Even and if you're going to have any starches, eat white potatoes. White potatoes are very satiating. Eat them later on the day because a lot of times people can't even take those, but potatoes can be very satiating. If you're going to eat a starchy vegetable, that's the one you eat. But throw yourself with broccoli, even some salad, of course. I have nothing against salad. I eat salads myself all the fucking time. But if you want to satiate yourself, eat protein and fat. But please don't get the idea that your biology all of a sudden takes over and fucking Like your biology is not like the Teslas that drive themselves, that take over. That's not the fucking case. Your biology causes you to be hungry, and then you make actions upon it or non-actions upon it. Reality exists.
Nightly cupboard rage where your body is demanding 2,000 calories to survive. The reality is,
your body does not demand 2,000 calories to survive. The 2,000 calorie thing is complete bullshit based on very active men like in the 1960s who all weighed 165 fucking pounds. The average men, when the 2,000 calorie thing was initially done, which was done on men, the average man weighed 165 pounds and was on their feet almost all day long. And most of the time did physically laborious things in their off time, watched very little TV, moved around, did a lot more actual, activity. And they weighed less than the average female now, while still being 6 inches taller.
Don't care how little or how perfectly you can eat for 6 hours if it causes you to lose control for the next 4. So the fix is
nothing causes you to lose control. You just lose control. Nothing causes it. Peanut M&Ms do not cause me to binge. I allow myself to binge because of peanut M&Ms because they're a binge trigger. And I have that in my head. I am trying to work through it, but I will still never expose myself to peanut M&Ms again because that would be an action that would cause me to make other stupid actions. We have to stop thinking that shit is out of our physical control. You've got to stop thinking that. Are there things that happen, especially for people with binge eating disorder, food addiction, that sort of thing? Yes, but it is still your responsibility. It is still in your actions. It is like saying that an alcoholic who hasn't had a drink in 2 weeks, his biology takes over and he just fucking smashes a bottle of Jim Beam. That's stupid. Please do not get caught up in that. Please don't do that to yourself. You can live hunger-free and happy. Go download the app. But I'm telling you right now, please do not get caught up in the fact that things are out of your control. You just haven't learned to control them yet. You haven't learned enough about yourself, about your hunger cues, your waking hunger, your pre-meal hunger, your right before sleep hunger, those sorts of things. You haven't learned what foods make you hungry and what foods satiate you more, because that can be a little different for every single person. You haven't taught yourself that eating ultra-processed foods is likely the thing that's keeping you fucking fat. Like if we were talking about basal metabolic rate earlier, if you want to seriously stamp down on your basal metabolic rate, eat a bunch of ultra-processed foods. It puts you into a systemically inflamed state, and then you are literally going to hurt your metabolism. And by hurt, I mean temporarily lower it until you fucking stop eating like shit.
Simple. Instead of asking yourself, how little can I eat for this meal? Start asking, how much can I eat while still being in a caloric deficit and losing weight? And if you want
now that is actually decent advice.
Real gold star, also ask yourself how you can optimize each calorie to make you as satisfied as possible. So look at your plate and make sure you're ticking the following 3 boxes: protein, fiber.
Small business owner,
I don't agree with the fiber.
You want to eat enough to turn the following 3 boxes: protein, fiber, and hydration. You want to...
I believe in the hydration and the protein. You don't need fiber. A lot of times, there's a lot of data that shows that fiber is actually negative for you. I'm not saying not to shy away from it, but you don't need a whole bunch of fiber. You can sit down and eat a steak with very good hydration and you're perfectly fucking fine. Speaking of that. 140 ounces in, baby. I'm not telling you not to eat fiber. I'm just saying, like, why overcomplicate this? Sit down, eat a fucking steak. The first meal you have, steak and eggs. Perfect. Very satiating. You're prioritizing protein and your healthy fats to produce good hormones. Fiber, I know that people are going to try to say that it's super satiating and call it what it is, but it's still almost always coupled with some sort of carbohydrate. Because it is a carbohydrate.
Enough to turn off your hunger and calm down your food noise. Consistent, moderate fuel.
Okay, food noise. I had somebody argue with me the other day that food noise doesn't exist. It exists, just not in the way people think. If you have food noise, and I want everybody to understand this because I have food noise. If you have food noise, you're an addict. Understand that. If you have food noise, you are an addict. Consider it how, druggies or alcoholics, they say it calls to them. Is that not what it is? Society needs to get there faster because food noise has become a very, very nice way of saying like, oh, temptation. No, food noise is akin to a junkie fix, a junkie wanting a fix. That's all it is. Like we talk around this topic way too fucking much. We talk around the topic of food not being addictive, especially when it is literally biologically engineered by scientists to hit the bliss point, which is basically trying to get you addicted to this shit. I can't even fucking begin to tell. Like, I don't understand why we keep playing around with this. Like, it's the same thing like sugar. People are addicted to fucking sugar in America. Sugar is the addictive substance that we market to fucking children. And you know why nobody wants to admit it? Because we market it to children and we give it to our children all the time as rewards and as love. Like, that is like saying you're giving your child a fucking drug for love. Because that's what it is, people. That's exactly what it is. Oh, this... Jay, what's happening, motherfucker? I think of my binge eating as Golem with the one ring. It's literally like that for me. I fucking hear you, motherfucker. I hear you very much. Hope you're doing well. Reach out to me. I got some shit for you.
You'll always beat starvation. Healthy habit number 2 is the cardio first priority. I remember watching the treadmill counter hit 500 calories and the sweat would be stinging my eyes. I thought that hour of intense cardio was my ticket to freedom. The more calories I burnt, the more I could eat. And we know that there is a calorie...
Well, that's just stupid. Like, I mean, if you are doing more cardio so you can eat more, that means you got a problem with food. I'm just letting you know that shit. Now, if you're doing more cardio because you like cardio, fucking get at that shit. Find the physical activities you like to do. I agree with her when people put cardio first, like as if that's the only way to lose weight. That's kind of stupid. But if you are also giving people advice like do more cardio so you can eat more, that's fucking crazy. That is not health advice at all.
In and calories out equation. So yeah, technically, if you burn more, you afford yourself a few more calories, a bit more wiggle room. But what I found and what you might relate to is that 20 minutes after that cardio session, you are ravenous. I'd stand at the kitchen counter, inhaling granola, picking on nuts, seeds, fruit, bread.
Sounds like she's been there.
Whatever I could get my hands on. I'd cancel out the entire workout before I'd even hit the shower. This is what's called compensatory eating. You see, excessive cardio spikes your cortisol. So not only does this signal to your body to hold on to that fat for survival.
Do you know what else spikes your cortisol? A whole bunch of fucking food rules. That's what spikes your cortisol. Like, learn about yourself. First of all, if you just the literally one rule, get proper fucking hydrated. Get yourself properly fucking hydrated. An ounce of fluid per pound of your ideal body weight. Like for me, I'm a 5'9" male, it's 169 ounces. If you live in a humid, warm climate, or you do a lot of physical activity and sweat a lot, make it more. Like oftentimes during the summer here down in the South, my crack of ass takes in about 2 gallons of water. You know, because I sweat my ass off in the summer, purposefully. But if you just are hydrated really, really, really well, and get used to hydrating really, really, really well, then you are less likely to binge. You are less likely, and it'll help with your cortisol levels. It will help with your sleep. Once you get it down to the pattern where you front load most of the day, like you really try to get the hydration out of the way in the morning, focus on that instead of food most of the time. And then by your midday, you have most of it in, and then you just drink with your remaining meals. You're good to go. You sleep through the night really, really well because you're properly hydrated. And then you wake up starting to rehydrate, fill yourself up, not hungry. And then you focus on protein and healthy fats. And next thing you know, you are literally feeling very hunger-free and very happy, losing weight kind of seamlessly. But whenever anybody has a hard time losing weight in my coaching, it is almost always because they're underhydrating. It is almost always because they feel that they can't get it in. And sometimes it is difficult. Sometimes for people, it is hard to get on the hydration train because very honestly, they have jobs that make it very difficult. Like when you first start trying to hydrate, if you're a school teacher, you trying to get your hydration in first thing in the morning fucking sucks. If you are a truck driver, it fucking sucks. But you've got to figure out a way to get it done, because if you stay in a dehydrated state, which most people in America are in a chronically dehydrated state, you are always going to be hungry. You are always going to eat your thirst. You're going to be replacing your drinking of what you should be hydrating with to remain healthy and remain hunger-free. You're going to be replacing that with food, and that's just extra calories. It's a double whammy. So just that's what I would worry about more.
but you're also flooding your body with ghrelin, your hunger hormone. The fix is to stop using cardio as a calorie burner. Focus on resistance training, because this will build muscle that burns energy whilst
do both. You should have good cardiovascular health, and you should have resistance training. On the Hunger Free and Happy app, you join the premium. There is plenty of programs. The Every Damn Day Fitness Volume Training Program, for those of you that want that, is on there. We're putting on the suspension system training programs, the Lean Mass program, which is also kind of based off of lifting weights at while also reducing times as the form of progressive overload, is on there. We have many that are like that include both a little bit of cardio at the end or anything like that with the weights. Cardio doesn't always have to be on the stair stepper. Cardio doesn't always have to be running tons of miles. Cardio can be you just lift weights faster with less rest in between.
you sleep. And no, the goal is not to make yourself so jacked that you look like the Incredible Hulk, but rather to shape your body and also give you the metabolic advantage of having lean tissue. And then focus on your NEAT, non-exercise.
I always kind of laugh at that, because they tell women, like, you need to gain muscle to lose weight. Do you know how slow muscle gain is for women? Like, if you're a newbie woman and you are trying really, really, really hard, and you put yourself into a very nitrogen positive state, meaning you're focusing on all the proper nutrition and everything like that. If you do that and you gain 4 or 5 pounds of lean muscle in a year, your first year, you have fucking crushed it. If a woman gains a pound or 2 of muscle a year, they're killing it. Absolutely killing it. I'm not talking if you already had muscle and then you stopped working out and then you have muscle memory and it goes back easy. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about once you've been training for a while, if you're a woman and you're not on any juicy vitamins, gaining 2 pounds of muscle a year is absolutely fucking destroying it. You are doing an unbelievably great goddamn job, probably with some good genetics too. Building muscle for women who have low testosterone levels is not easy. And like when we tell women just build muscle to help you lose weight, that is like literally just almost a lie. Like, yes, you should want to build muscle because muscle staves off old age. Sarcopenia is the #1 killer of old people that aren't fat, right? So you want to have good muscular too. You should be constantly trying to build muscle mass, unless you get too much. Like I downsized a little bit because I literally thought I had too much muscle mass on me. You know, I want to live a long fucking time, and I don't want my heart to have to pump all that fucking blood. But reality, if you're a woman and they say you just need to gain some muscle, that is like that's like a 5-year endeavor to build 10 pounds of fucking muscle on you. Like, very seriously. So keep that with a grain of salt. Whenever somebody says something like that, you got to really think about, like, how realistic is it for a woman to put on 5 pounds of muscle in a year? It's not. It's really not.
Activity thermogenesis. This is your daily movement in the form of getting your steps in, going up the stairs, sitting down, standing up, cleaning your kitchen.
Spend more time standing up, even if you can't find time to work out. One of the things we have everybody do, I'm doing this challenge on the app. Every hour in the afternoon, I'm going to do like 25 push-ups, 25 body weight squats, and I'm going to plank for a minute. I'm going to add them all together at the end of the day. I'm going to put it in the challenge, and that's my challenge for the day. It's a daily challenge that you can update every single day in the app that has your hydration, stress relief, and then that gets checked off when you do those just in the normal app, and then you add in the push-ups, body weight squats, and the planks. Hit my cord. You should always try to stay as active as you can.
If you focus on moving more throughout the entire day, you will burn more calories than in a sharp, intense gym session. But by doing it the first way, you won't get the excessive hunger that comes after the cardio does. And by the way, if you genuinely love cardio and you do it to improve your heart and lung health, please keep at it. There is absolutely a place for it in your routine. But just be mindful that you're not doing it because you love what the smartwatch says when you are done with that training session.
Get rid of your smartwatch. Don't go off the calories your smartwatch says. You don't need to watch. It is not that important. Like, you getting an estimate from a smartwatch that you burn 3,000 calories one day does not mean you can, like, I know many people who are like, well, my smartwatch says that I burned 3,000 calories and I only ate 2,500 calories, but I still gained a pound last week. That's because you were only actually burning 2,000 calories and you ate 2,500 calories, or very somewhere like loosely around that, because those are all guesstimates anyway, just like the watch is guesstimating at how many calories you're burning. So all the data collection and all that, like, don't get me wrong, you should track your calories if you need to teach yourself what's in food. One of the things I'm going to try to put into the app here moving forward is that periodically, especially for premium members and up, it's going to stop and ask you to guess how many calories you think are in this new food you're looking up. That way you get used to trying to think about it and you start testing your knowledge, because that's what you should do every single time. Every single time you put something into a calorie calculator, especially on the Hunger Free and Happy app, you should be asking yourself how many calories you think it has, how many grams of sugar, how much protein, and you should be asking yourself what percentage of it is ultra processed, if any. Like, be testing yourself, be trying to teach yourself this information. Then eventually you don't need to be stuck to a calorie counter, because those things get to be their own type of fucking diet. Those things get to be their own. And I own one. Crystal and I own one. We fucking built an app that has one in it, a very good one that tracks ultra processed foods. But in reality, just so everybody grasps this, it's not as important as the actual results. You want to teach yourself what's in the food because you want to know, but the results are the results, like your results, not the results that are on the tracker, your results.
And for those of you who don't yet have a workout routine in place, then I've got something that might help. I've put together...
It's called the Hunger Free and Happy app. You should go there. There's workout routines right on there for you. And you can always reach out to me for one-on-one coaching. So I'm going to skip over hers. Go watch our video
and tackle them in your own time. And the point about exercise leads me to healthy habit number 3. And I'm going to call this the sleep sacrifice. Now, I know that it can feel great to be a 5 a.m. warrior, but I took it too far and got into the habit of sacrificing sleep for exercise. And what happened was I became a walking zombie.
You don't know what an AI...
Well, I don't buy that necessarily. I do think sleep is radically important, obviously, because, again, it's something we track on the app. But
hour changes to the Monday platform in 2026, and what...
I'd be great.
But very realistically, if you wake up at 5 a.m., go to bed at 9 p.m., guess what? You got your time in. An adult getting 6 to 8 hours of sleep, that's adulting. Like, I don't think I ever get above more than 7 hours of sleep. Ever.
At 5 a.m., but come 2 p.m., I would be wanting to eat everything sweet. You see, sleep is your most powerful metabolic regulator. And
yes and no. You were wanting to eat sweet shit because you had trained your body that's where energy comes from. If you train your body that your body can go into fat burning mode and get energy through glyconeogenesis and ketones, your body will go to that too. You trained yourself probably because you were working out a lot, that carbohydrates and sugar is what you needed to go to, right? So the whole, like, our body looks for carbohydrates thing, that's relatively new. We did not eat a lot of carbohydrates 100 years ago.
when you cut it, you are training in a body chemically primed to fail. You see, when you're sleep deprived, leptin, which is your fullness hormone, drops, meaning that you're not as satisfied after eating. And ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone that we spoke about earlier, increases. So that's a pretty poor combination if you ask me. The fix is
It's actually cortisol, but anyway.
accepting that sleep is largely more important than exercise for fat loss. So if
that I agree with. And I will tell people all the time, if you're exhausted, go take a nap instead of work out.
have to choose between an extra hour in bed or the morning workout, I would go for the extra hour in bed. And then if you are able to, prioritize exercise in your lunch break or on the weekends. And for you evening exercisers, just be mindful that if you want to get a good night's sleep, it's probably not the best idea to have the bright lights and the loud music in your ears. Healthy habit number 4 is the low fat swap. See, I was the queen of the light aisle. I'd go for the fat-free yogurts, the low calorie sprays.
They're all packed with sugar.
The skinny whip bars that
or artificial sweetener.
actually led for me to be on the toilet for more than I'd like to admit. You see, yes, I saved calories instead of the full calorie, full fat options, but I'd feel empty. I'd eat air all day until my brain snapped and I just caved for the real thing. You see, when...
No, your brain didn't snap. You just caved. Like, as somebody that has binge eating disorder, right? Like, I know what it's like to feel like I'm eating out of control. Like, trust me, I get that shit. Because I often equate binge eating to being like you're watching a movie of yourself stuff your face and you can't stop it, right? That's an action still. That is an action, right? You still chose to do it. You just, in your brain, you have a switch that you've installed yourself that you either need to uninstall or turn that bitch into a dial, right? And you need to, like, everybody knows that what, like, people that try to control their binge eating disorder, when you do binge, you have said fuck it. Like, you know that there was a temporary moment in time where you said fuck it and you let it the fuck happen and you just let the fucking binge, the procedure of eating until your stomach hurts, happened. You know that. Like, everybody knows that. If you're a binge eater, you know that. It is still you. It is so vitally important. This is one of my beefs with all of you newbie weight loss channels. You guys try to make it seem like it is not a personal responsibility thing way too fucking much. I think it's because you are trying to make sure that you get an audience, then your audience will like kiss your fucking ass, or your audience will buy your fucking shit. But you really, really need to stop telling these people that shit happens that's out of their control. Because if you are going to control your health, you need to fucking control it. Like, you need to take the steps to build healthy habits, to also build mechanisms that make it so that the things you normally binge on, the things that you normally allow yourself to say fuck it about, you are either not around or you are able to manage being around them. Like, those are the things. You have to take responsibility for it because you are the one that's fucking doing it. It is not something that happened to you. If you think it's something that happened to you, that is an excuse to that will always fucking happen. You cannot possibly absolve yourself of overeating when you're the ones like nobody is fucking holding your mouth open and shoving the goddamn donuts in it. You have to take personal responsibility. You have to understand that you're the one doing it to yourself. It cannot be seen as any other fucking way, because if you absolve yourself of the responsibility of doing it, you'll never take responsibility. There will always be something that causes it to happen. Always. And normally when a binge happens, you binge again, and then you binge again, and then you binge again. And then you say, fuck it even more. You know, it's weird. I really wish that this new batch of fucking young weight loss people, a lot of you seem to have decent knowledge, but I don't know if it's like social pressure or you're trying to make it so you don't scare away customers, but you're not helping these people by telling them that something happens to them and it's out of their fucking control. I snapped. No, fuck no. Like, absolutely not.
When manufacturers remove fat or calories, they add sweeteners and thickeners to maintain taste. But this creates a bit of a satiety gap. You see, without fat to slow down your digestion, your stomach might feel full for 20 minutes, but your brain stays hungry all afternoon. So I would end up having 4 or 5 of those Skinny Whip low-calorie bars, not overnight. It was a skill I had to develop, of the real butter or the full-fat yogurt, if that's what food, if it leaves you wanting. And it sounds logical. Fill your stomach. Such, you trick your stomach into being full. But what happened for me is I would have these huge bowls of food, but
she's talking about volume eating. Volume eating is stupid. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to let you guys go watch the rest of her video. Do that for us, and I'm going to get to my next video. But she's talking about volume eating. I've talked about it many times. You should get yourself able to be as satiated to get all of your macros and micros in as much as humanly possible on the minimal amount of volume of food. You want to be able to fill yourself up on a very small volume of food. You want to be able to be very satiated and very satisfied, because there's 2 different things. Satiation is the lack of hunger. Satisfied is you've enjoyed your food. I don't know anybody that doesn't enjoy a very well-cooked steak, except maybe for vegans that lie about enjoying a very well-cooked steak. But you just very honestly, volume eating, that is a diet trick that has failed every single fucking person I know that has tried it. So I hope all of you are having a great time. I will be back in 1 minute because we are going to switch to the next live to talk about rice bowl eats. God damn.